you're looking at it as a dual console boat, and it is 29 feet 11 inches in length with a beam of 9'2". Nice size boat. By no means is this a small boat, really, but it's got a lot of interesting features to it.
Welcome to another episode of the Southern Boating Podcast. This is a special series we're doing previews on FLIBS 2024. We have 3 new vessels for you today. Before we get started, remember to subscribe to the channel because we're releasing these up until the day before FLIBS begins. That way you can have whatever information you need to go check out the vessels that you're interested in. Also, make sure to click the like button right now. And if you don't like the episode at the end, you can take your like back. Having said that, here's the 3 vessels we're going to talk about. First, we're going to talk about 4 Winds. James is going to kick it off for us. Then we're going to talk about Formula, and we're going to finish up with Schaefer yachts.
Yes.
Sound about right?
Perfect.
Fantastic. Then let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So the first one on my list that I'm excited to see is the 4 Winds H9. All new boat for them. They're an American builder too, so I'm always really interested, and they build boats out of Michigan. So 4 Winds has a new model. It's called the H9. You're looking at it as a dual console boat, and it is 29 feet 11 inches in length with a beam of 9'2". Nice size boat. By no means is this a small boat, really, but it's got a lot of interesting features to it. So number one, the feature that I take right away is it has the drop down terraces to expand the deck in the cockpit.
Right.
I've always loved this feature. You've talked to me about this feature quite a bit of times.
I love when boats have this.
It's a neat look. It expands the entertaining space for this boat, which is excellent. Also in the cockpit, it's got the rear facing seats that actually turns into a sun pad because the backrest moves back.
Yes.
Right? It is excellent choice of how to position that. But then on top of this is a boat that also carries twin outboards. So you now have the ability to take this, in my perspective, I know people go over on single outboards and so forth, but this is a good boat to also go over to the Bahamas in from here and be at a sandbar. This to me is a typical awesome, entertaining sandbar social boat. It does have a hard top and it is electrically actuated. So if you're going to trailer this boat, which it is small enough to put on a trailer, you can actually lower that hard top. So you can trailer it anywhere. What also is you have, so this has a bow section to seat in. It's got, in the helm, it's got a swivel seat. So it can turn around and you can enjoy the rest of the boat and people that are there. But the helm too has some interesting tricks to it. It's got dual 12-inch navigation screens with options of either you can do Simrad or Garmin, and it's got all stainless steel buttons. So it's got a nice look to it. And right behind it too, then it's got a little galley with a sink and an optional refrigerator. So it's got all the big boat toys that you need for entertaining, but in a slightly smaller package.
It's 1 inch away from being a 30-foot boat.
Right.
Exactly. It's a good sized boat.
It is a good sized boat.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt about that. This is not really a beginner's boat by any means, but this is that right sized boat for a lot of people. I'm really interested to see this in person. Maybe somebody will let us out for a sea trial on this when we get an opportunity. If you're listening, we would like to get out on a sea trial for this, or I personally would. But, it's again, just one of these things.
I like you're like, I personally would, like, I wouldn't like to go out on a boat, James. What?
Well, I don't know. I'm just speaking for myself. I'll drag you along if you like.
Yeah. No, this is definitely a boat that I'm looking forward to seeing in person.
The next one up is you have a boat that you've been on, but a different version of this boat.
A different version of this, yes.
And you really liked it.
I loved it.
I first drew your attention to this boat when we were in Miami, the version that you went on, the sport version, right?
Well, I had already been on a sea trial at that point, hadn't I?
I can't remember.
I don't remember the timeline. So let me just jump into it. Formula 457 CCF, which is the center console fish, right? Yes. That's the model that's going to be at FLIBS. I got to experience the CCS, which is the center console sport. And I really did enjoy this vessel. This is without a doubt an impressive vessel, which if you know anything about Formula, that's what you would expect. Now, what I like about their fish model is they really went and kind of asked themselves, okay, how do we keep the sport element while still keeping anglers happy, right? So what they did is, well, first of all, the size. I love this. The 457, right? Center console is 45 feet, 7 inches length overall. I'm like, I like the numbering. That's perfect. Okay. 13 feet, 9-inch beam. They have the finish and amenities that you would expect from a Formula vessel, 100%. But they made this like an offshore, like battle vessel. That's the best way to describe it.
Fishing boat
it's meant to be a fishing boat, 100%. So they have triple Mercury 600 Verados. They have triple 22-inch monitors at the helm. And that was also true on the Sport. They had the same monitors. And I have to tell you, like the space that you see on the screen is just fantastic for captaining a boat. They also have air-conditioned 3-position helm with the second row seating and a mezzanine. They have transom seating. They have bow seating. So they have plenty of space for people to be wherever they want to be on the vessel. They also, for this fish model, added 50-gallon twin live wells. They have a bait rigging station that can double as a wet bar, and they have dedicated floor and side storage. So you can quite literally fill this boat up with everything that you want, whether it be fishing or entertaining. Now, below, they have, and the below is very similar, if not the same, as the Sport. Because as I was reading it, I'm like, I've walked through this. This sounds like exactly what I walked through. So the cabin is 6 feet, 6-inch headspace. It has a full aircraft galley, a U-shaped seating lounge with a convertible table and berth, and a spacious head. The guy that was giving us the tour when we were out on the water, he was, I think, 6'2", and he stood in the separate shower, and he was like, "Look at how much space I have above my head." Like as a tall guy,
he still had space. That's amazing.
He had massive space, and he's like, as a tall guy, like that's incredible to experience. So you have a lot. It's a separate stand-up shower, So you have a lot of space in the cabin as well. One thing that I want to make sure to bring to everyone's attention is you can actually add an upper station that has full controls and a lounging area to this. So you can have an upper station.
You can option this with a fly bridge, basically.
Essentially, yes.
Right.
Yeah, that's the best. That's a great way to say it. If you're an angler, you have to look at the Formula 457 CCF, without a doubt.
So the next one for me,
Schaefer, right?
Schaefer yachts. So Schaefer's got a new model, and this is going to be the V44. So they're expanding that V series into a V44, which is going to be 44 feet, 8 inches in length with a 13-foot, 8-inch beam. And this draws upon the same design cues as the rest of the V series. Very sleek looking, very modern looking. It's very spacious. It is more of a powerboat than anything else when you look at it, because Schaefer makes some beautiful yachts as well. Really beautiful yachts. They've always kind of captured my eye. And now that we're covering some Schaefers, it's going to be really interesting to get on this boat. It's got a very large T-top with a sunroof, and your favorite, a fold-down television.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember you really liked that on another boat that we were on.
Yeah.
When I was reading that, I was like, oh, that's an Ian feature.
I'm just an entertaining person, man. I don't know if it's like the Hispanic in me or what, but like that's just what it is.
But the cabin, too, is very spacious. It's going to sleep 4. And when I'm looking at this boat, I'm like, wait a second, how is that possible? But there's a lot of space down below. So it works it out that it can fit 4 with a full head and a separate shower. It has a complete galley with an electric cooktop. Everything you really need to have a good weekend boat, or it could be served as a tender to a larger vessel. And you also have some different power options on here. So you can get triple Mercury Marine 400s, or what I believe is triple 600s. Now, triple 600s got to make this thing really go.
I'll say that's a big jump.
I'm very anxious to take a look at this, see the new design. It's new to us. So we're going to be on it. We're going to capture some video. Doug's going to be with us. And this is a Brazilian boat. So we're seeing more builders, but Schaefer's been around a long time. So they're a prominent brand. I like the boat. Can't wait to see it. So that's our 3 boats for today. Make sure that you check us back tomorrow for 3 more boats. And until now, I'm James Anderson.
I'm Ian Sneed.
I already said it.
I know. I got nothing to add. I was like, man, I got nothing.
Meow?
Yeah. Right, meow.
Okay.
Okay. Ready?
Meow. Okay. How many times can we say meow?
You want to do that in an episode?
If you can count how many times we've said meow.
That would be fun, man. I'm just saying. All right, let's kick it off.
All right.